Look around the room and see who's swimming with you in this ocean of devotion right now. And notice that this particular service is getting more and more crowded. This service is never really publicized, but more and more people keep coming to it, and we never turn anyone away. Let's wave at those people who are tuning in from around the globe. Let's presence them in the room. Whatever country you're in right now, or even if you're in LA adjacent, we presence you here now. Now let us presence our ancestral realm, those that are cheering us on. Let us present the ancestor and the angelic realm. Let us pull it in right now. They're here. And let us always presence, most importantly, the power and the presence and the love of God that is everywhere. Not a guy in the sky, but a presence that is never an absence. Our theme for this month is invisible, indivisible, and what's the other word? Invincible. Oh my God, that's a great word. And so we're coming to an understanding this month that most of what we are in this realm is invisible. And though we can see with the sensorium the physical body and the expression of the physical body, our spiritual life, our real nature and our real being is invisible to the physical eye. As a matter of fact, even the body temple is more than 90% just empty space. And so that means that as a real being, as a spiritual being, our real nature and our real beingness is eternal and immortal. And we want to begin through spiritual practice to become aware of our immortality as we're moving through a mortal expression of the physicality that's representing this body temple is such geniusly made, it represents the fundamental order of the universe. And so we want to contemplate our invisibility, that you never really see each other except through the eyes of the Spirit. You see the Christ presence within each other. You see the Gautama Buddha. You see the Kuan Yin presence. You see life oozing through each and every being. This is why they say at times that the eyes are windows of the soul, for as you look deeply, you'll see beyond the physicality, and you'll see the infinite potential that lies within every single being on the planet, even yourself. And of course, we are indivisible, which means that we're undivided from the whole. The bane of the human experience is that human beings have a tendency to live from a sense of separation, a sense of fragmentation. Fragmentation. Okay, all right. They're fragmented. They believe that they're separated from the presence of God unconsciously or consciously, and then live out an experience of that separation and think that that particular experience is real, meaning eternal, meaning forever, but it is not. It is merely an experience of a perception, a point of view. It is merely an experience of a thought about reality. And so you are invisible, you are indivisible, and you are invincible. Now, when you carry that dynamic frequency, you begin to discover that safety and well-being is a state of consciousness. It is not a state of how many guns you have. It's not a state of how many bars you have on your window. It is how much insurance you have, and they may not pay you anyway. It is a state of consciousness, an awareness that you're living, moving, and having your beingness in a presence that is never an absence, so you're able to walk in the world but be of a higher frequency and know that you are safe wherever you are and that everything is working together for your good. That is our theme that allows us today to speak about the awakening. Now is the time. Each of us are on a quest, particularly if you are here at the Agape International Center today, and you've been pulled into this frequency of an epicenter of awakening, an epicenter of divine love, an epicenter of unity. You are beginning to be aware that there is an awakening that happens within you when you become aware of your second birth, which is the birth beyond merely the human dimension. It is the birth of the Christ presence within you, the birth of this Buddha field, the birth of this being that is awake to its glorious nature. And then the second aspect of that awakening is the collective awakening of humanity, of which we are in that right now. Though it may not square with the appearances of the world, it is still happening nevertheless. And this awakening individually and collectively. Individually, we call it our second birth, the rising of the Christ within us, the awakening of our soul. Collectively, we call it Christmas. We call it the mass celebration of the Christ. Not merely a holiday that's taking place on December 25th, but the mass celebration of this grand awakening that is occurring. And so as we go deeper or wider or more focused into our spiritual practice, we become more and more available to rich and vitalizing insights into our expanded awareness, and we begin to transcend the seeming polar opposites. One is skepticism. Skepticism creates a sense of separation and a sense of doubt. And then there's believing. I believe in God. I believe in all of this good stuff. But those are polar opposites. The skepticism creates doubt and separation. Believing can accidentally pull you into religiosity, where you end up in a dogmatic state of believing just for the sake of believing without having any rich insight into your nature. We transcend those particular opposites, and we become awake to that which is real, which takes us beyond religiosity and beyond skepticism. We begin to see, as I have seen many, many, many times, that we are surrounded by love and beauty and intelligence and life itself oozing, seeking to express itself by means of us, of which oftentimes religions are just little echoes of that kind of insight that can lead people into believing and then lead people into separation, thinking that one religion is better than the other religion. Listen, this is why they call us a trans-denominational spiritual community. Trans meaning going beyond. We go beyond separate denominations into that which is real and that which is truth. That's awakening. That's the Christ consciousness coming into our awareness, you see, through spiritual practice. And so as insight begins to occur within us, something, we don't just do something differently, we become different. As it came through me this morning, we become non-personal, non-conditional, benevolent. That's what happens to us. In other words, the non-personal aspect of our being, meaning that our focus isn't always on our personal issues. It's no. We grow beyond our personal issues and how to handle them. Our mode of being in the world as a non-personal being, meaning that our attention is primarily on the love of God, the love of humanity, being a vehicle for compassion and kindness and generosity and creativity. That becomes more of our focus. And then the particular issues that we are facing with, we become aware on a mystical level and on a quantum level that your next level of unfoldment handles your issues. You can't handle your issues. You can't handle your issues at the level of consciousness that you're operating on. The only thing that handles the issues is your next level of unfoldment, insight and revelation into your real nature and being. Are you picking up what I'm putting down here? And so we become non-personal, non-conditional benevolences, meaning beyond conditions. The love and the peace, the joy, the wisdom, the harmony, the joy within our own being becomes the activity of our awareness. And regardless of conditions cannot stop the glow of kindness and compassion and generosity and peace and love and happiness and joy. Conditions can't give us those things, which means conditions can't take away of those things. It can only take it away if you're locked merely in being human and trying to navigate yourself through time and space as a human doing. But once you become a real human being, your mode of being in the world, of being a non-personal, non-conditional, benevolent expression of God Almighty, something begins to take over. And you begin to understand the scriptural reference of, I will do the things appointed for you to do. You become a transparency for the presence, and the Spirit of the living God does through you what you can't do without God. You become a transparency, you see? and something happens. You move from, bam, sensations to inspiration to awakening. In other words, when you're primarily a human doing, you live life through excitement and sensations. Oh, that was sensational. And you live at that particular level. You become just an experiencer. Nothing wrong with experience. I'm just trying to put the hierarchy properly. And so there's people that just live primarily through their senses as a way of being happy. Excitement, depression, senses. But when you become conscious, inspiration takes over from being in the vibration of sensationalism. You become inspired. Inspiration is the word of God that you catch in your meditation, you catch in your prayer, you catch in your visioning, you catch in sacred service, you catch in creativity. You become inspired. And from the dynamic of inspiration, awakening starts to take place. You start to absolutely awaken to that which is real. You're no longer merely experiencing your thoughts about reality. You're no longer stuck in just believing about what you think about reality. Because oftentimes people are just caught up in the collective beliefs of society. There are still people on the planet that actually believe what they see on the news. They really do. There are people who actually believe that nonsense. They actually believe that's reality. No, that's called the olds. A constant repetition of a limited paradigm talked about endlessly about this person, that person, this person, and that person. There's no one on that TV station from the news telling you the truth of your being, telling you who you are as a spiritual being, telling your body that you can heal anything, telling yourself that there is a way out of no way if in fact you tune in to the underlying truth of your nature and being. No one is telling you on a real basis that your body can heal anything. You don't need to add anything to it. You need to take stuff out of it. Toxicity. Oh my God. And so as we become increasingly aware through spiritual practice, we begin to hear, and when I say these biblical statements, these are words of truth. Don't get caught up in religion, just caught up in the truth that's hidden in many religions. So when we hear in Ephesians 5:14, awake thou that sleepeth, that the Christ can give you life. Awake thou that sleepeth, arise from the dead. Arise from the sleepwalking. Arise from merely believing. Arise from the collective consciousness of lack, limitation, fear, doubt, worry, separation, polarization. Arise from the dead and let the Christ give you light. That light that lights up every being that comes to the planet. This is beyond religion. This is your real identity in a time in which identity politics is running rampant. We're bringing you back to your real identity, the image and likeness of God. The light that lights up every being that comes to the planet, you see. And so then we enter into John that talks about God as love, and they that dwelleth in love dwelleth in God, and God in them. Our mode of being in the world totally changes. As a non-personal being, or even a transpersonal being, we're in the world, but we're of a higher frequency. Our mode of being in the world is being lovers of the presence, lovers of beauty, lovers of joy. And then there's an activity that takes place. And we begin to see that out of no way, in time and space, ways are made. Not through our manipulation, provocation, intimidation, and seduction and manipulation, no. But out of a state of consciousness that states in substance, I know the thoughts that I think towards you, thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you an expected end. The heart mind of the infinite presence is too pure to behold any inequity. It is already an accomplished spiritual idea about yourself. And you begin to walk in that dynamic. I'm telling you what I know. This particular state of consciousness is not reserved for mere gurus around the planet and special people. It is open to everyone who will take just a little bit of time every single day. Pull your attention away from the world of effects, the world of appearances, the world of your own opinions. Ooh, that's a hard one, because you know your opinion is right. But the Zen teaching tells us, above all, cherish no opinions. When you pull your attention away from all of that, what's left? Behold, all things are made new. I was seeing through a glass darkly. I was seeing through my own opinion about people. I was seeing through my own opinion about myself. I was seeing through a glass darkly. I was seeing my thoughts that I don't know where I got those thoughts from. Those thoughts about life, about people, about circumstances and conditions. But I was blind. But now I see. Presence everywhere. God is everywhere. It's coded in all religions, but people miss the code. They go to the dogma. They go to the belief rather than relieving themselves from the dogmatic perception of religiosity. We get to do that right now. We get to remember that we are invisible beings, shining through the body temple, the mental body, the emotional body, the psychological body, the body of our affairs. We get to be reminded that we are indivisible. We're undivided from the whole. Now, as I'm saying these things, and they're hitting upon your consciousness and changing your psychology right now, and we are reminded that we are invincible. It's a state of consciousness that provides safety. Now we can walk in the world, but we are of a higher frequency. And because we're of a higher frequency, and the spirit of the living one is actually doing everything, doing the work that's appointed for us to do. We all have gifts, talents, and capacities. We all have a destiny. We all have a reason why we've come into this planet. We're not accidents. We're on purpose with the purpose. The Spirit of God can now do what it does through and as us, and we're almost carried into greatness, carried into health and wholeness, carried into compassion, carried into kindness, carried into generosity. We become a witness to our soulful self, our super soul self. We become a witness to it, but it is us. Oh, just hit that thymus for a moment. Just activate that immune system. Put your hands up like this. This activate our spiritual immune system. Say with me right now, I'm carried by the consciousness of the all-good. I anchor the consciousness of the all-good on earth. I am free in the spirit of the living one. All of my needs are met. Everything is working together for my good. And it's all happening right now. Right now. Right now. I see it. I feel it. It is so. Somebody scream about it. Feel that energy. Feel that energy. Woo! Woo! God is good. It's all good in the neighborhood because God's neighborhood is everywhere. So I just allowed you to see my hand and eye coordination. Oh, this guy, Michael, he's a little crazy. But you want to be crazy. You want to be crazy in a world that is insane. You want to be the outlier. You want to be the nut. You all want to be nuts, as I was saying earlier. Nut stands for never underestimate the spirit. You want to live in that nuts consciousness, never underestimating the spirit of the living one. So as we just go down what has been covered, Invisible, indivisible. What's the last one? Invincible. You're too slow. Invincible. The awakening. Now is the time. Now, N-O-W is capitalized. All three of those are capitalized. Because now is the timeless space. Beyond present, beyond future, beyond past. The eternal now is a moment of insight. Oh. You can't win in time. If you're early, you're anal. If you're late, you're resistant. Time vanishes. Now, you are free. Now you are free. I can't remember the lady's name. She became a great spiritual teacher. It'll come to me. And she was discovering her opening. And she wrote a list down of everything she needed in life. She was raising children. She wanted money for tuition. She wanted enough money to pay her rent, car note, her insurance. There was a number of things that she wanted, and she just wrote it all down and put it in a drawer. And as she was meditating, she heard an inner voice saying, "What do you want?" And she said, "I wrote it down." And she took it out and she began to read everything she wanted. And she heard the voice again say, now, what do you want? So she read it again. And she heard the voice again, "Now, what do you want?" And she said, "Oh, this now? All of my needs are met." And the voice said, "Stay right there. I'm asking you to feel right now, this instant. Don't project into the future. Feel right now that your need is met. Just feel it. There's no law against feeling that. That is the right use of the law. Feel that your need is met right now. Feel that everything is working together for your good right now, even if you can't see the evidence of it. The lack of evidence is not the evidence of lack. Feel into that right now. Now. This now. The awakening. Now is the time. Now is the time. Now. Your challenge, if you choose to accept it, is to stop throughout the course of the day and stop and say, now, my need is met. Right now. If it's your family, our need is met. Your spiritual community, now, our need is met. And to keep coming back to that until you awaken to the underlying rhythm of life that is doing the work appointed for you to do. You awaken to the underlying rhythm of God is love. And they that dwell in love dwell in God and God in them. The underlying feeling tone of awaking from the intoxicated sleep of separation, awaking from the dead, the collective beliefs of society that individuals are bragging about their ignorance as they go on to social media and fight with each other and manner of all kinds of opinionation. They're shouting to the universe, "I am stupid. I am ignorant." It's a very simple way to be on social media. It is so simple. All you say to yourself is what I'm about to post bringing unity or separation? It's very easy. If it's going to bring separation, you don't post it. For all of you who are tuning in. And then you become a harbinger of peace and of love and of absolute joy. Are you picking up what I'm putting down? Yes. Are you feeling this? We're talking about your mystical awareness into the absolute presence that then allows you to operate in the world. You're in the world, but you're of the higher frequency. You are non-personal, non-conditional benevolence. Kindness and compassion becomes your mode of being in the world. And then what do you prove? Everything is working together for your good because you are changing and becoming the vibrational answer to the issues that you have in the world. Ooh, I like that. That's a good one. I get to hear it first. Take a breath here. Release. Inhalation. Release. Inhalation. Release. Feel a deep sense of gratitude that your need is met. Give thanks that you're awakening to the light that lights up every being that comes to the planet, that Christed nature of yourself, called by different names in different cultures. And in this sanctuary of the soul that's all around the globe, we are celebrating the mass celebration of the Christ. Christmas. Christ Mass. And are changing the very fabric of the world through the dissolution of thought forms of separation. See yourself walking into any environment as a representation of the Holy One and watch the environment change. Watch peace and love and harmony break out because the highest frequency always wins. The highest vibration always wins. See yourself, your real self, walking into any environment, not trying to pick up vibrations from people, but imputing vibrations into the atmosphere. Love, joy, compassion, generosity, creativity. You are not a victim. You are a fiat of the Spirit, an exclamation point of the Most High. Awake, thou that sleepeth, arise from the dead, and let the Christ give you light, brilliance, chakras glowing brighter than a Christmas tree. Woo! So you move from sensations to inspiration to awakening. Let's open ourselves up to this moment of prayer together. This community that's all over the globe right now. Let us all come to a complete stop and withdraw our attention away from the world of appearances. Let's move from the seeming headlines to the heart lines of the Spirit. Let there be life. Let there be light. Let us move to the heart lines. Is it not written, ye are gods? Let us move to the heart lines. The kingdom of God is within. Let us move to the heart lines. The kingdom of heaven is at hand. Let us move to the heart lines. The ground upon which we are standing is holy. Because God is here and because we're standing here. There is no more holy land than where you are standing. For this power is omnipresent everywhere. But we have to really know this, not just believe it. That's just the beginning. We have to know it. And we have to know it alive. through affirmative prayer, the art and science of meditation, spiritual technology of life visioning, sacred service, forgiveness, radiating dynamic compassion, kindness as our mode of being in the world, as a non-personal, non-dimensional, benevolent being. We're lovers of God. And it's in this dynamic feeling tone that I have the privilege and the honor. It is always, for me, a privilege and an honor to be able to stand in this august, robust community that's just beginning, by the way, and to speak the word for each and every one of us. Oh, I have the awareness there's only one God, one power, one presence. There's only one of us here reflecting itself through the so-called many. And as the supreme I within us is lifted up, oh, we draw all into the higher frequency. And anything that cannot vibrate at this level, oh, it just falls away. Can't touch us. Woo! Woo! And we just have an inner feeling right now. Whatever the issue is in your life, you can have the inner feeling something wonderful is trying to happen now. Say it. Something wonderful is trying to happen. Something wonderful is trying to happen as my life. Now take the next step. Say, I'm letting it. I'm allowing it. I'm surrendering to it. I'm yielding to it. It's happening now. The answer is now. It's happening now. Oh, feel that your need is met. Feel it. Feel your need is right met. Even before you can see it physically, feel that it's met right now. I step into this awareness, this flow of the go. For each and every one of us, let there be wellness and well-being. Let there be mending of the soul and a reclamation of the soul that has been cut off. Parts of us that have been cut off, oh, we reclaim it. Transmute it. Let us be free today. Oh, just say that. Woo!